What's up, dummies? Welcome to Trading with a Dummy. My name is Mark. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell button to get notified every single time I drop a video. And of course, share. Today, we're going to react to Andrew Tate, the guy who has plenty of Bugattis, and Piers Morgan. I guess he came on there once again to debate Piers Morgan. I'm assuming that's what this is. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I reacting to Andrew Tate? It has nothing to do with finances, but in fact, it does. I initially came aware of Andrew Tate through the fact that he had his own trading program called Hustle's University 2.0. It was a bunch of other stuff in there as well. It's mostly an affiliate link training course with a bunch of other tabs that were very generic. Point blank, the whole Hustle's University 2.0 was completely trash. Wasn't good. It was trash. Not worth it. So that's the reason why I want to review and react to this Piers Morgan interview. That being said, though, I actually like Andrew Tate now. After watching the 5-hour-long interview on, PBD, I kind of changed my mind about how I feel about that guy. It seems like once you put these people on long format interviews, you might be able to change your mind versus just seeing these little tidbits and stuff. So, all right, let's do this. Let's play this video and let's react to it together. Let's get ready for the transition. Transition. All right.
Well, joining me now is Andrew Tate, whose videos have been viewed billions of times online, but he's been banned from pretty much every mainstream social media platform, including Twitter. Andrew Tate, welcome back to Piers Morgan.
I gotta say, I'm actually surprised he's still banned on Twitter after Elon Musk just bought it. So, what do you guys think? How do you guys feel about it? About people getting banned left and right like that? Because I know he got hit pretty hard, man. He not only did he get banned off of Twitter, he got banned off of YouTube, he got banned off of TikTok, he got banned off of Uber. It was like a bunch of stuff, like bank accounts basically liquidated his assets and stuff. It was just crazy. So how do you guys feel about it? Do you think like this guy deserves to have gotten banned the way that he got banned, or do you think that was a little extreme?
Uncensored. Your take on this, I think, is quite interesting because you've been a victim of being, if victim's the right word, but you've been removed.
We don't look alike. Just want to make that clear.
From social media platforms for your opinions. Elon Musk has dedicated himself, he says, to restoring free speech. Do you think that's going to include you, for example?
I don't think it matters if it includes me or not. I think what's important is that free speech is the #1 weapon against absolute tyranny. And although you cannot have...
Influencer banned from social media. If you're banned from social media, does that still make you an influencer? You can't influence anything. So are you really an influencer if you're banned from all social media platforms?
Complete free speech, because then conversations completely break down into asinine insult fests. I do like the idea of the changing of the guard when it comes to control over information.
Is it possible, Andrew Tate, to actually police something like Twitter, to be a platform for genuine free speech? Or is it so toxic and tribal now that whatever happens, before we had all the people on the right screaming away that they were being no platformed and so on. Now you've got all the people on the left screaming that they're being diminished in some way.
That is kind of true. It's kind of hypocritical if you notice that, like, all the folks on the right were complaining about censorship and everything, and now everyone on the left is doing the same thing. But from my understanding, I don't think anyone's getting kicked off of Twitter at this point. I think people are voluntarily leaving, so I don't understand how they're being deplatformed. They just decided they want to leave or not pay the $8 for the blue check mark.
It's very tribal, very toxic. Can Musk cut through that? And if so, how?
Yeah, it's going to be extremely difficult. There's always going to be one group of people who are extremely unhappy, but I think that anybody who's perspicacious enough to understand the truth of what's been going on in the world recently.
What do you say? Perspicacious? I don't even think I know that word. Perspicacious? Is that a word? If anyone knows that word, please comment in the chat. Perspicacious? See, that's another word I gotta learn, another English word. Look, y'all, I'm already struggling with pronouncing and not mumbling on every single video English is my second language. ESL. Was in that for 3 years. You know how embarrassing that was in middle school? Cat, not caught. Cat. Cat. Mark, cat. Caught. No. Cat. Yes, it was embarrassing. Got made fun of. And had a really horrible German accent, too. Whew.
Recently will know that the left and their narratives have certainly been protected for a very long time. And the universe has swings and balances, and God often restores balance to the universe, and perhaps it might swing the other way for a while. I truthfully am a person who believes that all points of view are extremely important, because as soon as you block points of view, you have absolute tyranny.
And in a way, it's sort of self-defeating, isn't it? Because you carried on getting huge attention. It was interesting to me that when you came on the show, for example, we've had, I think, nearly 6 million people have viewed the whole interview that we did, which is a huge number of people, certainly far higher than watched it on conventional television. So you...
Oh, yeah, there's an echo there. That is true. You know, it's funny because any interview that Andrew Tate showed up, people would get millions and millions of views. It's kind of like the like Kanye West. Anytime he shows up on any platform, doesn't matter. You could be a nobody right now. Like if Kanye West would show up on my channel and I would interview him, I know for a fact I would go from 5,000 subscribers to at least 1 million. At least 1 million. I know it. I know I would. So please, Kanye, come on my channel. For the love of God, please. I would love it.
You have a whole world out there online which operates away from social media platforms.
Yeah, I've been very, very successful in spite of them, but not many people can do that. I'm in a pretty unique position. But I think that everybody needs a voice to a degree, and social media platforms are now the most important platforms on the planet. They control information, and they influence real-world decisions, and they influence people's perception of reality. The last few years of COVID have been a perfect example of what happens when you censor one side of the argument and you only allow one point of view to be purported by the matrix in and of itself, and that's how you end up in tyrannical situations.
You know, people love using that word matrix. I'm telling you. Man, I remember I was a kid when I watched Matrix. That definitely changed cinema forever. Too bad the last one didn't hold up.
I think you were just discussing that, Piers.
Yeah, and I think that's a perfectly valid point. You know, people have quite, I think...
I gotta say this, look, this one's going way better than the last interview. 3 minutes in, no arguments, no fighting. Piers Morgan's not giving Andrew Tate a bunch of BS and interrupting him every 5 seconds. Good so far.
Quite rightly held me to task over some of the positions I took during the COVID pandemic, notably when the scientists said as a definitive fact that you couldn't transmit the virus if you had the vaccine. It turned out that wasn't true. And I based my observations on that supposed fact and said, right, well, in that case, if you refuse to be vaccinated, you shouldn't get the same rights as people who've been vaccinated. If it's true that if you're unjabbed, you can pass it on. It turned out, actually, there's not much difference whether you've been vaccinated or not. And at that point, I changed my mind.
Yo. You know how many people got pissed off with me when I said that? I was like, yo, it doesn't matter. If the facts and science matters. But they're like, no, the facts and science says this. It's like, yo, but the new facts and science says this. No, you know nothing. And here we are. By the way, as I got vaccinated, I can tell you this. Look, I'm not saying that this is the reason why. All I'm saying is ever since I got vaccinated, which was last year, I've been getting a lot sicker than I have in the past. I didn't even put that sentence together properly. Basically, what I'm saying is that I get sick quite often compared to how I was getting sick prior, which was barely ever. And now I've gotten sick, I think, for 4 times in a year? This is crazy. And I think, one of those times was COVID. I caught COVID 3 times after getting vaccinated. So, yeah.
But I felt that there were a lot of people who were being deplatformed from Twitter at the time for questioning the validity of scientific statements, and they would then be a complete U-turn. So I do think it was a very interesting period, actually, for testing what free speech means.
It was actually worse than that. You're right, Piers, but it was actually worse than interesting, because what happens is when you censor an entire side of the argument and only allowed one side of the argument to have a voice, you are changing reality in real time. You are shaping the world. The only reason that scam continued as long as it did, and the only reason people didn't get to see their own parents get buried, and the only reason people sat and missed cancer appointments because they were scared of the common cold was because they were censoring anybody who said anything contrary to the purported version of events that the mainstream media decided they want the entire world to swallow. It's beyond simply interesting, and it's beyond simply funny or coincidental.
Yeah,
I got a question for all y'all. You'll let me know what you think below. Do you think that in today's society that we've gone down this rabbit hole of conspiracy theories, or do you think that it's just there's a lot of people now who have a platform and they're critical thinkers who sometimes go against the grain of what the mass media is trying to feed you? Because we already know this. It's like what Malcolm X had said years ago before he got shot and killed, obviously. But he had said that the media holds, don't quote me, it's not like verbatim, but basically the media holds the power to make you feel and make you believe certain things. It's the most powerful, I guess, most powerful asset or powerful entity in the world is the media, because they can literally shift your mind. It's pretty interesting.
Look, I will challenge you on one thing. It's not the common cold, right? COVID-19 has killed 6.6 million people. It is one of the most deadly viruses, certainly of our lifetime. So it wasn't the common cold, but I do think it is completely justified for people to say we should be more cautious, I think, about accepting during fast-moving pandemics the word of scientists as being sacrosanct, because on a number of things, from the use of masks to the efficacy of vaccines in preventing transmission, they did massive U-turns.
I've read enough history books to know that the people who do the censoring are never the good guys. And they've been censoring a lot of arguments for a very long time in the name of good. They are weaponizing virtue, and it's always in the name of tyranny. Anybody who is out here trying to silence an entire side of an argument on any subject, whether it's COVID-19, immigration, anything else, they are the evil people who are out for absolute mind control of the populace. And they should be feared.
I certainly agree. I certainly agree that I think the healthiest thing for any democracy is for all views to be aired and debated. We seem to have lost the ability to debate. You know, when I interviewed you, yeah, we had a few fractious moments, but actually, I thought it was a pretty spirited debate between people who perhaps had, preconceived views of each other.
No, it was a terrible debate. It was Andrew Tate sitting there and really staying calm, cool, and collected, and Piers Morgan asking him questions and interrupting him every 5 seconds. It's a terrible interview, but still got millions of views.
And I've got no problem interviewing you now about these, because I think you have an interesting take on this stuff.
And that's the key to life. When you reach that level of adolescence in your mindset where you can't handle any point of view that is contrary to your own, then you're truly a broken person. And that's what the internet is purporting. It's very interesting you said about Twitter being tribal. There's a large contingent of people on Twitter who simply cannot handle reading an opinion which differs from their own. And that is a degree of immaturity that we do not need adults to be functioning with in the modern world.
No, I agree. If you were Elon Musk, this idea of charging $8 now a month, whatever it is, to access the blue tick.
Oh my God, y'all, can't stand this whole argument. It's people on Twitter bitching about paying $8 on Twitter. So it's people on Twitter bitching about people on Twitter. It's funny because Elon Musk actually made a statement on that. And listen, nobody's forcing you to pay the $8. I actually paid the $8 for 1 month to test it out so I could feel special with the blue check mark. It's kind of stupid, to be honest. Save your $8.
Premium Twitter account. Would you do that? Would you pay the extra?
I think that social media companies for a very long time have lived in an absolute fantasy where they've printed money from thin air by charging people for pixels. And they grew into these large conglomerates with too many staff sitting around doing nothing, having coffee breaks.
He's so
and Elon Musk is a businessman. He's walked into the office and he's firing a bunch of people who are messing around doing nothing. And he wants his business to make money, as it absolutely should. And how he decides that happens is his prerogative.
Didn't Elon Musk just say that he thinks that Twitter is going to go bankrupt next year? I'm pretty sure I read that on Bloomberg earlier today. I don't know if he's joking around or what, but he was saying that they may have to file for bankruptcy next year. Or maybe that's just a way, if you want to save Twitter, make sure you pay $8 a month.
I don't see why we should sit and accept that a website needs 200,000 people sitting around discussing in long meetings, sitting on beanbags about policy of human rights of some garbage. When he's come along and said, no, I'm a businessman. We're going to charge for our service. We're going to reduce the number of staff. And we're going to be a functional, coherent company. as they should be. And it's his prerogative to do it as he's bought the company. I think he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree, because I remember the appalling sense.
Why does Andrew Tate look so angry, man? Yo, it's just a conversation. You can't tell me. Tell me this guy does not look angry. Looks pissed off. It's like how I felt the minute I found out that I was being duped in all these damn trading groups.
Of the New York Post exclusive about Hunter Biden, the son of the president, about his laptop. This is 3 weeks before the election that Joe Biden won. He was heading, to a possible victory, but it was tight. And that story, they reckon, could have tipped it either way. But it was completely suppressed and censored, starting with Twitter, then Facebook, then others. Twitter literally locked out the New York Post account for 2 weeks for breaking a completely true story. And I thought that was shameful.
It's worse than shameful. It's worse than shameful. When you control information, you control the real world. They affect the real world in real time. They are genuinely affecting the reality people live in. They are not just a company. They're not just a social media platform. It affects absolutely every single person on the planet when it changes who is elected. I don't want to comment specifically on Hunter Biden or the laptop. I would never kill myself, but I don't think it's fair that they would hide.
You just say, I don't want to comment. I don't want to kill myself. What the oh, this guy's hilarious.
Certain key information that close to an election, and the fact that they've done that was done specifically to affect the world that we all live in, and we all have to suffer the consequences of those things. So to sit and say that these companies can just do whatever they want and they're private, etc. No, free speech is beyond important for democracy. It's important for the reality that we exist under.
Andrew Tate, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.
Yo, I gotta say, this is the first time where this was a smooth conversation with Piers Morgan with someone he doesn't like, it seems like. So this was interesting. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you agree with everything they were saying in this interview, this 9-minute long interview with me, obviously talking and babbling on? But let me know, comment below if you enjoyed this interview. Again, the only reason why I interviewed Andrew Tate is because he has a Hustle University 2.0 trading group / business group / whatever the hell. It's a waste of money. Don't pay the $50. It's pretty much mostly you'll learn a affiliate link. That's how he really got his name out there. Like every person that clicked on the link from the videos that they posted, they would get $25 if a person would sign up one time. So it was a genius marketing move, but I don't think they do it anymore. The group is trash, especially the trading part and investment group stuff. It's trash. But yeah, so that was it. Thank you for stopping by. Once again, my name is Mark. You're watching Trading with a Dummy, and my camera's about to die anyway, so I have to switch out the battery and shoot some more content. So until next time, y'all, peace out.